Well, nowadays, schools expect children to already know how to read when they enter kindergarten, but not a lot of 5-year-olds do know how to read, and that's why kindergarten readiness programs are so important. Here to tell us why she was so passionate about starting her own program is Kristin Peterson. She is the owner and director over at Brighten Academy Preschool in Clovis. Good morning to you, Kristin.
Good morning.
How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
Good, good. You have an interesting story. You and your husband pretty much quit your day jobs to start this preschool. Tell me about that experience.
I taught for 12 years in the Valley, and I taught mostly kindergarten and first grade. My credential, I have an early childhood emphasis on my credentials, so early childhood has always been my love. So after teaching for so long, there's so much that children can learn before they get to kindergarten, so I decided my last year teaching, I pretty much just wanted to open my own place, my own kinder prep preschool for children to get ready for kindergarten.
Did you feel like something was missing in the regular preschool classes and that you thought maybe you could incorporate over at Brighten Academy?
You know, I think there are so many great programs out there. I think there are so many children heading into the public schools. Every year the classes get bigger, and I think my love for early childhood just kind of pushed me into doing something that I could make a difference before they even get to kindergarten. So yes, I think just being a part of that is so huge for me, and being in the public school system was a wonderful experience, but being able to get them before in those early years was just a drive for me.
Why is it so important then for our children to be ready and kind of ahead of the game as soon as they enter kindergarten?
Yeah, I think that things are getting so much more rigorous with things that are expected with the state and class sizes. Unfortunately, the class size reduction recently, you know, getting rid of that and the class sizes getting bigger and bigger. It's just the more prepared they are before they get to kindergarten, the better. And there's just so much they can learn before they get to kindergarten that it's amazing. So the better prepared, the more self-esteem they have, the better the experience altogether is.
And what programs then do you offer at Brighten Academy that are unique or that may be even different?
You know, the main focus of our program is to really have an assessment-driven program, which takes children. We never do assessments to tell a parent that a child doesn't know something. It's never about that. But having those assessments, we do an assessment in September, January, and then April, and those are based on basic preschool assessments, and then once they've mastered about 85% of those, we move to the actual kindergarten standards, the state standards. So those actually then are used to assess them, and then we teach toward those assessments. So once children are actually assessed, then they're grouped based on those assessments and then taught at their individual level.
And so would you consider that an academic block of time? I mean, because I'm looking at some of the programs on the screen there.
Yeah.
And what is an academic block of time? What does that mean?
And we're full-day programs, but we have an AM session and a PM session.
Okay.
So there's an actual designated amount of time that's for an academic enrichment purpose. And that is when, you know, we have reading groups. Everything is structured like a kindergarten classroom would be, even down to the 2-year-old classrooms, so that it builds that familiarity and kind of, you know, makes that routine and structure a part of their experience. And by the time they get to kindergarten, it's like they've been there, done that type thing.
Even field trips are included.
Yes.
What kind of field trips do you all take?
We actually, in the fall, we go to the pumpkin patch. A couple of weeks ago, we went to the zoo, and those are usually up to always culminate a unit that we've done studying, you know, harvest or studying the zoo animals, that sort of thing. We do a Christmas program in December where everyone performs. And 4th of July, we have, you know, we do a program, a demonstration. My husband dresses as Uncle Sam. It's pretty hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
So everything, you know, it's about them being children, but the academic part of things is just, it's also a focus because there's so much they can learn.
And obviously outdoor play is really important as well. How many kids do you have, and is there a cap? Because you did mention, you know, the class size was so important.
Yes, we have 6 classrooms currently. We can have 81 students on site at one given time. We have about 165 families that are enrolled, so some come half day, some come full day. We're in the middle of expanding. We'll actually be expanded and opening our second, well, it's not a second location, it's actually right next door to us, so we'll be connected. And we'll have another 81 children, so a total of 162 at that time.
Got it. And what's the ages? Is it?
Right now we have 2 to 5-year-olds, 2 to 6. They can be with us until they've entered first grade. In the fall, though, we're bringing back our infant room for our siblings that are enrolled, and then we're offering a private kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay,
yes.
so if you want to enroll or are interested in enrolling your children maybe for the summer, is it too late, or is there still time right now?
You know, right now our current building is full, but our upcoming expansion, we're about 2/3 full, so we have about 1/3 of our space left, and we're enrolling every day.
Okay.
And that's the open date for that is August 20th. We go along with Clovis Unified, their start date, so August 20th marks the start of our fall session.
Okay.
But we're enrolling all year round. You know, we start to fill up though around February and March for the upcoming year. So.
Alrighty, well, there you have it, everyone. In case you're interested, the number is 294-1310. It's been on your screen there, and also the website for more information, because I'm sure there's so much more information on the website. Is BrightenAcademyPreschool.com, BrightenAcademyPreschool.com, and you can find out more there. You're there in Clovis.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What are the cross streets there?
Fowler and Ashland.
There you have it. Okay,
Yes.
good. It's always important to put your kids in a good school. Thank you so much, Kristin, for being here.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
All right, don't go anywhere. Central Valley Today. We'll be right back. Well, many parents are already starting to plan ahead for their little one's first day of school. If your child is set to begin kindergarten, now is the time to prep them for what is said to be the most important year of their schooling. Joining me now is Kristin Peterson, the owner and director over at Brighten Academy Preschool in Clovis. Good morning to you, Kristin. How are you? It's hard to believe that we have to start thinking about school now and sending our kids to school. But really, if we have little ones, it's so important, isn't it, to start planning ahead? Why is that?
You know, I think the expectations in kindergarten and in school are so much more rigorous now, and you have a lot of children that actually do have that preschool experience before they go in, so of course it kind of sets the bar once they get there, so that expectations are higher. So the more prepared they are before they get there, I think the better experience they have.
What's the difference between preschool and pre-K? Or is it the same thing?
Well, it's the same. Pre-K is really the year before kindergarten.
Okay.
So it's their pre-K year, meaning the year before they head to kindergarten. Okay. Preschool encompasses pretty much all of the years before they enter kindergarten. So a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, or even infants, they may attend preschool because it's their before school experience.
And then they get a lot of great social skills, really. I mean, when you take them to preschool at the age of 2, they're learning how to be with other children.
Well, and yeah, there's so much more to the experience than just the academic part of things. You know, just I think routine and establishing relationships with one another and with their, a teacher and people in those roles. It kind of builds their foundation for what they will get, as experience in school. So it's so important that experience is beneficial to them, because when they get to school, it kind of set their foundation for what to expect.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Brighten Academy, are you a preschool or pre-K or both?
Yes, we have programs for 2 to 5-year-olds, actually 2 to 6-year-olds, but we're expanding right now, and with our expansion, we're actually bringing 6 more classrooms, and with those classrooms, we're bringing back our infant program, which we initially had when we opened.
What is that in your infant program?
The infant program is for children that are 6 weeks to 24 months old.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes, we had phased that out last year, but this year we're actually able to bring that back. And then we're our first year doing a private kindergarten.
No kidding. That's exciting. So the parents, were they excited about this, or is it something that you saw was in demand from the parents that were asking for it?
To be honest, it actually came about because of parental interest. So I was approached by many of our parents asking if I would ever consider doing a private kindergarten, and that's pretty much how it came about. So the people that are currently have been in our pre-K program, our preschool program, have asked if I would do one. So this year, with the expansion, I decided to do one.
And what about teachers? Does this mean that you brought in a kindergarten teacher?
Yes. Okay. In fact, we just hired a credentialed teacher that I'm very excited about. And our current program, our teachers, are really why we're so successful. I couldn't do it all on my own, and they're so amazing. And as you can see, the classrooms, everyone sets their classroom up like a kindergarten classroom. We already have some credentialed teachers that work in our preschool program, and all of our teachers, are very well not just nurturing, but their teaching ability is amazing. So yeah, it's with the new building, we're hiring, 9 more teachers.
That is fantastic to hear. It really is. So now Brighten Academy is really going to be also a school.
Right, right. For that kindergarten 1 class that we have, again, what's great about it is the benefit is they'll still be in a small setting.
Yeah.
And it's their kindergarten year, but the ratio is so much smaller than when, if they were to go into a regular kindergarten.
Well, what is the average size kindergarten class there at Brighten?
For us, we actually will keep about a 1-to-10 ratio. So the class will max at 20 children, but the teachers, there will be 2. So right now we have 1 teacher for about 12 children. We still have about 7-8 spaces left for the upcoming school year. But if we do go above 12, then we'll have another teacher. So there'll be 2 teachers to 20 children.
Okay, that's really great because a lot of times kindergarten classes are upwards of 33, 35 children.
And it's unfortunate, and that's the benefit of why parents, I think, want to do private kindergarten, just because they kind of keep them in that intimate setting, and we're able to meet the needs of those individual children because there is such a small ratio with a regular public school.
And the classroom looks beautiful. The expansion, it looks really great.
These are actually our current classrooms that pretty much show you how everything this is a pre-K classroom, and it's set up just like a kindergarten classroom would be. So really, most of the children leaving our program are really ready. They're pretty much at least halfway through their kindergarten year.
You're doing sight words in pre-K?
Yes.
Wow, that's really great. Sight words are usually not introduced until kindergarten, right?
Right.
Okay, so once they finish kindergarten here, will they be fully prepared to enter 1st grade at a public school or whatever other school they want to go to?
In fact, if anything, they'll probably be ready for 2nd grade.
No kidding.
Most of our pre-K children right now have achieved or mastered most of the kindergarten standards and are really ready for 1st grade.
Okay, so how much is it then? Can I ask you that, or do people need to call?
It's our full-time rate. It's $188 a week.
Okay.
But for the kindergarten program, if you just do the AM session, it's $30 a day for the kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
And that's a half day. It's from 8 a.m. to 11:30. If, though, you want your child to stay the full day, then it turns into the $188 a week.
A week. Okay, got it. Yes. But this is for a private kindergarten.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And then all day long. Now, really quickly, I know we're out of time, but do you recommend as a kindergartner half day, full day? What do you recommend?
A half day of enrichment is a good amount. I would say it depends on how rigorous that amount of time is, but they're still little, so they do need playtime and other time to do other things. And
to sleep, to nap.
Yeah.
Don't take away naps.
The teachers do too. Yeah. But yes, I think a half day is sufficient.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, wow, that's really great. Congratulations on your expansion.
Thank you so much.
Brighten Academy is on Austin Avenue in Clovis, 1825, right on the corner of Ashland and Fowler, you said, right? Ashland and Fowler. Give them a call because they're enrolling right now, 294-1310. And now is the time to enroll, right?
Yes, we actually are almost full, pretty much. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we'll call them because they're almost full. All right, thanks again, Kristin, for being here.
So much.
Appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.
Yes.
We'll be right back, everybody. Stick around. Welcome back, everyone. For parents, where you put your children in school is one of the biggest decisions you will have to make. So how important is preschool, and what do we look for in a facility if our child is under the preschool age? Those are just some of the questions our next guest is here to answer. Joining me now is Kristin Peterson, the owner of Brighten Academy Preschool. How are you, Kristin?
Hi,
good to see you again. Now, we know that you're preschool, and you have been for about 4 years now, but you're also incorporating now an infant program. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, actually, when I opened the first center 4 years ago, what I did was I actually had an infant program in that center. We had 5 preschool classrooms, and then we had an infant program. I had 4 preschool classrooms, and I had an infant room and then a toddler room. And so at that time, I had it for about 2 years, and then it's very hard to run an infant program combined with a preschool program just because it sounds terrible, but it really doesn't end up paying for itself.
Yeah.
So,
well, an infant program, infants and toddlers, I know this is a really dumb
no,
question.
no.
Toddlers are what, age of 2, 3?
Well, for licensing purposes, infants are 6 weeks to 2 years old.
Got it. Okay.
So, but then you can actually have an infant program and then have a toddler option on your infant. It gets a little complicated, but a toddler option on an infant license means that then you can actually at 18 months separate them into a toddler program.
Got it.
And so that's kind of when you have, like I do, or had then, that's what I did. I had a whole room for infant and then a whole room for toddler, and it's hard to sustain a big staff, because what the big difference is the ratio of teacher to child. So preschool ratio is 1 to 12 children, which we actually keep smaller ratios than that, but the infant ratio is 1 to 4. So you end up staffing wise. But anyway, so I phased it out after 2 years. And I had it out for about a year, and then we expanded this last August, and we brought it back.
Okay.
But I only brought back one room, and at that point, the room was just so impacted. I literally had about a 2-year waiting list at one point. Yeah. So we ended up, an opportunity came up to take over a building that is literally 2 minutes up the road from us. It's
beautiful.
Actually, our current preschool is at 1825 Austin. The new location, which is the picture you see, that actually is at 2016 Shaw. So that's 2 miles up from our preschool location. So what I've done there is now we have a completely entire infant toddler
facility. Yeah.
So it's only for infant toddlers. So my preschool building is for 2 to 6 year olds, and then the pictures you're seeing right here, this is our infant program, our infant room that's within our infant toddler center.
Well, the difference, let's talk about that, because I'm sure the preschool program is a little bit more educational. The infant program is a little different, or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, the first 5 I did, they're all from the day they're born, they're learning a ton. So, but the actual rigor and structure of the routine, you're really not allowed to actually plan or structure an infant's day for them. They pretty much structure their day for you.
Okay.
So but once they're 18 months, you're actually able then to have a routine and established, structure for your day. So what we have, the room that you see, that's for 6 weeks to 18 months. And now I have a toddler option, which that one door that you can see going, there's a doorway that's open. That goes into what we have now. We have 2 toddler rooms that are 18 months to 2 years old. And in there they have a carpet time. They sit down, they do projects. They actually have tables that they sit, and it's more of a structured setting. And then
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Why is it so important to have structure at this early age and not just have them have fun and roam around?
Yeah. Well, and having fun and roaming is a good thing too, and choices are a big deal. And that's one of our toddler rooms that you can see. There are actually tables and chairs, and but the whole thing is about building familiarity for them, and they might sit down for carpet time for 3 or 4 minutes, where we have our 4 and 5 year olds sitting for 9 or 10. What it's doing is it's all building into when they head to from preschool into kindergarten, and the structure is very important.
Very important. Not only that, but you also have developmental levels. So each child is in the appropriate level, right?
Well, and we actually put our age ranges in once they're in our preschool program, we have a 2-year to 2-year 6-month class, a 2-year 6-month to 3 class. So they're about 5 to 6 months in age range. Because of that, a 2-year 2-month child and a 2-year 10-month child can be worlds apart, as far as development. So you want to make it as close as possible in developmental range, just so that you can meet their needs better.
Yeah, well, I think that's wonderful that you do that. I think it's great. And if you have any questions, please call, because this is a great opportunity, and hopefully the wait isn't that long anymore.
Actually, now that we opened our infant toddler center, we are about half full at this point. We just opened 3 weeks ago.
Well, there you have it. Get on it if you want to place your babies in any of these centers. There's one they're both in Clovis. The number you can call is 294-1310, 294-1310. BrightenAcademyPreschool.com is the website, right, Kristin?
Yes.
BrightenAcademyPreschool.com. It's right there on your screen. So important to get your child enrolled already. Thank you so much, Kristin. We'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks for having me.